We were supposed to film the hell of it day one of shooting.
Since we have such an aggressive first day.
It was supposed to be the first thing we did.
First thing. Like clockwork, tornado warning.
And they sent us a video of our broken shoreline.
Tide is in.
So we didn't have the location anymore.
Thank you, God, that we are now flooded and cannot shoot this number tomorrow. It really put our lyrics to the test. The hell of it then got pushed to like a month before we were done, then 3 weeks before we were done, then in the last 2 weeks, then the last week.
And we kept, every day kept waiting like, okay, are we gonna make this happen? Are we gonna make Hell of It happen today? The set never became available to us again.
It was so clear. God was moving the chessboard and was like, that's the last thing you guys are gonna shoot.
So we had a very aggressive production schedule. Trying to shoot 7 episodes of a show in 6 weeks is insane, even as I say it out loud. But we didn't have a choice, so we had to figure it out. The first thing I wanted to do was get my 1 and 2, Antonio and Cozy. Let's just do some scenes with those two. Set the tone for quality of the storytelling that we were doing, because I thought those scenes were really good, and certainly Antonio and Cozy were really good. Plus we can get a lot of stuff done because it's just the two of them talking. So day 1 was supposed to be the scene in episode 2 where they're on the bench and they're talking.
Let me see.
No.
Let me see.
No.
Let me see.
Okay.
And then it was supposed to be the scene before the hell of it.
So you just thank God for the hell of it? My bad. I know I'm not supposed to say that word here.
And then the hell of it.
Thank God for the hell of it, hell of it, hell of it.
We're gonna have a 10 or 11 page day on day 1, which is bananas, but it'll be good. And we'll have a big musical number under our feet, which is the hell of it. So we're gonna go today and design the hell of it and make sure that we all feel that it's interesting. I have this challenge to keep it interesting for the audience for almost 3 minutes of a ballad duet with just 2 actors on what we're calling a broken shoreline. It's not an easy challenge, but I think that we can do it. So since we have such an aggressive, although very doable, and it's going to be awesome, first day, I'd love to let you do that with this tune, basically. We had this really cool location on the camp there that was like, we called it the broken shoreline. It was rocks that normally are buried or underwater, but the tide was out, and it was just very cool. And I had this whole metaphor I was doing that they're walking across broken pieces, to find each other. And I want to really figure out, all right, here's this shot, we're gonna do this, and in this shot, she's in the foreground and he's in the background, and that's gonna be interesting because of what they're going through, and then what he sings, and we'll rack focus to him.
Thank you, God, that I'm bruised. Thank you, God, that I'm anxious. Thank you, God, that you never really come to save the day.
He'll kind of walk around, and we'll do this spin shot here and just design it, pick it apart. And then that lyric that read like you're both stumbling upon it took you to each other. James, the DP, and I had like kind of designed these really cool shots for it was a whole thing. And we were very excited about it. Every shot telling a story, every shot being intriguing. And I would love for it to be one of the most compelling moments in the entire show. And it just takes intentionality. So we're gonna go out there and I'm gonna put my actors in the space. I'm gonna let them, I always do this as a filmmaker. If you've hired good actors, then let them have a huge ownership in what a character would do in a moment, and where a character would say a line, certainly how a character would say a line. I have ideas about what would be cool, but I want to, let them follow their instincts, and then James and I will kind of design and dream about how we can shoot those instincts in a way that's visually, hopefully captivating for the audience, and really just underlines what exactly the characters are feeling and what exactly the story Antonio and Cozy are trying to tell us. I'm feeling inspired by that, feeling excited about that.
Day before production starts, like clockwork, tornado warning.
One of our PAs was on set, like I think loading in trailers or something, and they sent us a video of our broken shoreline.
Tide is in. I'm no captain, but I might be a problem.
And it was no longer a shoreline, it was underwater. So we didn't have the location anymore.
Thank you, God, that we are now flooded and cannot shoot this number tomorrow. It really put our lyrics to the test.
The whole set that we had planned for Hell of It was underwater for the rest of filming.
Ah, the hell of it. The hell of it came out of a conversation between me, Alan, and Kaylee before we ever started writing the show, before I was a writer for the show, before I was a songwriter for the show. They wanted as much of me, the real me, in Lenny as possible, and we all got on a Zoom to talk about my experiences and specifically how Lenny was going to show Max the way and how Max was going to show Lenny the way and how they were going to bring out different colors in each other. Max couldn't hope, he was in too much pain, and so Lenny taught him how to thank God for the hell of what he had been through. Literally, that was a thing that I said as an idiom on the phone with Alan, and he said, and I quote, "If that's not a song, I don't know what is." And a couple days later, I sent him a voice memo of my idea saying, hey, here's a song that could be cool for the show. It's called The Hell of It.
Eyes wide and hands unfolded, I stand out in the open and thank God for the hell of it. Thank God for the hell of it.
Alan once again opened the door and said, listen, I believe in your abilities.
I asked Cozy to send me songs because she's a great songwriter, and she was willing to do it. And I was grateful to hear anything that she wanted to send and to pitch.
I wrote and produced 6 full-length song demos for Alan for the show. We had no story yet. I was just like, and here, what if Jake does this and this happens to him? What if Savannah does this? And what if Lenny and Max go off in the woods and sing this duet?
And then Adam and I, Adam Watts, who I did all the music with on the film and did the music on the show with.
Alan was like, I'm getting songs from Cozy that I think are sneaky good. Like, there's a couple, in fact, that you need to hear. I got sent specifically the song that Cozy wrote, The Hell of It, and I kept forgetting to listen to it. And when I finally did, I'm like, oh, whoa.
What she sent over was amazing. There are so many songs that ended up in the show that were just like the first pass that Cozy did ended up on screen.
The Hell of It.
Thank God for the hell of it, the hell of it, hell of it.
And Made for This.
I know we were made for this.
For both songs that I wrote in that little incubator period.
We just talked about it. I said, man, I think she would elevate everything. She brings a new shot of energy into it. Everything would be better. And so I talked to Adam first and made sure he was okay with it, and he was completely supportive.
Made for This was the 6th and final song that I pitched him for the show. And he called me and said, I just paused in the middle of the song because I couldn't wait anymore to call you and tell you, I officially want to invite you to be part of every aspect of production.
I know we were made for this, to jump and fly and fall and then to lift each other up again.
I mean, I don't know what the music would be if she wasn't at the table across the board, but I know that the music's great, and that's in large part because she was at the table across the board. So
The music, Mr. Adam Watts. Take a bow, sir. He's right over there, guys, by the way. I love him so much, I'm telling you. I'm not just saying that because he's sitting there.
I had to really not think about what a legend Adam is, which was hard because every time you had to take a bathroom break and you went in his bathroom, all his platinum records are in his bathroom.
I told him I've lost 8 pounds because of him, because I put on my headphones and I'm supposed to walk 10 minutes after a meal, and I say, okay, I'm gonna be gone for 10 minutes, and I put on music from a week away and I listen to it over and over and over again, and the next thing I know, I've walked all the hills in my neighborhood for an hour and a half. So thank you, Adam.
Oh, Adam Watts. It's just the worst.
I'm Adam Watts. I'm executive music producer is one way you could call me. They're trying to figure out what my credit should actually be. I like to think of it as if there's multiple ships and Alan is sort of the captain of the main ship or the whole fleet, I'd say I'm the captain of the music ship.
Man, Adam and I mean, he's become one of my closest friends now, but if you roll the clock back, we set off on the journey to start making the music for a week away the film, and it was unbelievable, man. Just, you know, sometimes it would just be, hey, I need a song like this. The guys and the girls are talking, you know, to each other, and like this guy's trying to convince this guy that he's good enough to talk to the girl, and this girl's trying to convince this girl that she's good enough to talk to the guy, and it's gonna be called Good Enough. And Adam does things like sends you a voice memo with just the chorus, and it's fantastic, and you're like, oh, well, we got the song, now we just got to go fill it out. We did that so many times on the film, and continued to do that into the series. I knew he was talented, but to see it firsthand and to be in the room with him and to be collaborating with him is really an unbelievable thing. Writing with him was just some of the most fun I've ever had. He's such a smart, kind leader.
You know, it was one of those situations where, like, absolutely meet your heroes. I didn't specifically know that Adam Watts was my hero growing up, but I did know that the music that he wrote really spoke to me and like changed my life growing up. So getting to meet somebody like that, and for him to be like the most chill, awesome, welcoming, open songwriter and musician was such a crazy experience for me.
But he also has a gift of pulling out of the artist that he's working with the deepest layer of what you're trying to say. He's able to take all of the craft and all of the stuff that and all the talent that he has and bolster what you're trying to do.
Eyes wide and hands unfolded, I stand out in the open.
Another thing that's really cool about overall creating the music is that everybody really brought their A game, but also came from a really personal place. It ended up at this place where it's like greater than the sum of its parts, which is really what you want.
Every time we would finish a song, we were just like, wow, we're doing something really special. We're doing something that's like really meaningful and means something to a lot of people. And like a lot of the people that were working on this show grew up with High School Musical, Camp Rock. And like, we are just sitting there like, what did we just live out our Camp Rock dreams? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did, and that was freaking cool. So that was a lot of this experience, was just surreal, speechless moments.
Thank God for the hell of it. Thank God for the hell of it. The hell of it, hell of it.
One really cool thing, which started out being a little bit annoying, but then ended up being great while Antonio was doing all of his vocals, is the very first song we did that he wanted to do was he wanted to sing Amazing Grace. I think he had connected that song from a character perspective, from a personal perspective, and he just wanted to sing it. Even though it's in the first episode, it's definitely a hero moment, vocally and also for his character. It like sets things in motion. He sang it on the first day, and I was like, oh man, we're off to a good start. Alan came in, listened to it, gave the thumbs up. We were all super stoked.
And we all were like crying, telling him, Antonio, this is the best thing we've ever heard. You're so amazing. We're so excited.
After doing the table read and listening to it after the scene that we had just done.
How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
I realized to myself, I said, it just doesn't feel emotional enough. It doesn't feel like I'm going there. It feels like I'm singing the song, and I don't want to do that.
And I don't remember if it was the next day or 2 days later, but Antonio came in and he's like, It was late in the day too. He's like, I want to re-sing Amazing Grace. You want to make a perfect thing, what? Better? Worse? Like, how is it possible?
That is such a guttural, emotional moment for him, where he is literally like, God, where are you at? Like, where you were there for someone else. Why were you never there for me? Do you hear me?
You must be lost, 'cause I've been around. Tell me why you never showed up for me.
And that's a question that so many people have, even people who do believe. So I wanted that moment to hit as hard as possible, because that is like Max's entire story, his entire arc.
I was like, well, it doesn't hurt to just do the thing where I press record a bunch of times and then get to listen to him sing. So I'm like, all right, let's go. If you heard the first one, you'd be like, that's amazing, and there's an awesome singer, and you hear where we ended up, and it's like transcends that and becomes something really special. From then on, if there was a line or a note or a thing that he wanted to redo, it was always like, go. No question.
The idea of singing these songs with him, especially now that the songs meant so much to me, especially one like The Hell of It, which I had written before we even started writing the show and was based on my story and my life. Knowing that he was going to bring it to life with me meant everything. He's so protective of songs. He's so responsible with them. He really makes choices as a vocalist. Nothing is by mistake.
But what always would happen is he'd push and do a few more, and it would somehow get better. And then when he felt like he nailed it, he'd go, we did it, boys. It was always, we did it. And I'm like, no, it was a you. But he would make it a we, because like, that's Antonio. He doesn't want it to be about him. This is a we thing at all times, even if it is him. It says so much about who he is, how he genuinely thinks.
After that moment, we were very particular with how we wanted to go about bringing the emotions out of the songs.
Oh, you must be lost, 'cause I've been around. Tell me why you never showed up for me. Amazing grace. Thank God for the hell of it, the hell of it, hell of it.
We were so excited. Antonio and I were so ready. We toured the broken shoreline and blocked out the moment with Alan.
We were supposed to film The Hell of It day one of shooting. It was supposed to be the first thing we did.
First thing, yeah. And we kept, every day kept waiting, like, okay, are we gonna make this happen? Are we gonna make Hell of It happen today?
The Hell of It then got pushed to like a month before we were done, then 3 weeks before we were done, then in the last 2 weeks, then the last week. Then it was supposed to be part of the last day, but not the end of the last day.
The set never became available to us again.
And finally it ended up where we are here on the last day.
Actually, an extended day. Last day of
It wasn't
filming.
even supposed to be. The last day was supposed to be yesterday. But
Yeah.
we got rained out again.
And literally every time, some weather delay, something happened to where it was so clear God was moving the chessboard and was like, that's the last thing you guys are gonna shoot.
So what was supposed to be the first thing that we shot, we had to shift everything around and do other stuff, as you often have to do through production. The Hell of It pre-scene and The Hell of It itself ended up literally being the last thing that we shot on the show. So it went from the first thing we were supposed to do to the last thing we were supposed to do. And I almost get emotional thinking about it, because Cozy and Antonio were so locked into their characters, obviously by the end of the show, that I don't know what that scene would have been like if it was the first thing that we shot. They're good actors, so it would have been good. And it may have been just as good, but we'll never know, and now we don't have to know, because we had to change the location because it stayed buried, so now we're just in the woods, which is better.
Thank you for every time that you were never there.
Do you know what God calls an angry prayer?
What?
A prayer.
It also gave us the time to know that The Hell of It was supposed to go together with it as well.
This idea that you just want us to cheerlead with you,
No, I want you to challenge me.
Genuine, okay.
I want you to challenge me. It is well, eyes wide and hands up. With my soul I stand out in thee. It is well, thank God for the hell of it. It is well, thank God for the hell of it. The hell hell of it. Like a glove.
I think it's a great idea.
I like it too.
So if Jeremy share the story about it as well, where it came from.
Have you guys heard that old hymn? It is well with my soul. Yes, yes.
Somebody starts it, right? When peace like a river attendeth my way.
When peace like a river attendeth my way.
We can go to the second verse or whatever it is, but we build it up, and now we've got Max who's kind of been tiptoed to this place.
Yeah.
And before he's willing to join in, because you've been singing the whole time.
It is well.
It is well, he looks at you.
Thank you, God, that I'm there.
Thank you, God, that I'm broken.
Thank you, God, that in every crowded room I feel alone.
Only the two of you are singing it, the reprise of the hell of it.
Thank you, God, that I'm so tired.
Thank you, God, that I'm homesick.
For a home that I have never even known.
This is the best version of this moment.
Yeah. I love that.
On day one, I didn't know that. We still didn't have that together. So we would have shot it in a way where we thought we were doing the whole song. And if I had this feeling in the edit of like, oh man, I gotta get out after the second chorus, it just would have been weird versus the fact that it got pushed to the last day of filming. We'd had the time to have that creative conversation to make those adjustments. And so we shot the scene with them walking off screen, knowing that we were gonna take that from there to the campfire. We did actually shoot the bridge and the chorus of the hell of it. It was literally the last thing that we shot, and it was cool because we ended on the dock. That if for anybody who knows the movie, we sang "Place in This World" on the dock.
There's a line in the bridge that you can hear on the soundtrack, but isn't actually in the series, where Lenny and Max trade back and forth singing, "Thank you, God, for my past. Thank you, God, for my future. Thank you, God, that I'm here with you right now."
Thank you, God, for my past.
Thank you, God, for my future. Thank you, God, that I'm here with you right now.
And every time Antonio and I sang that, we almost teared up and would just look at each other and go, like, let's make the most of it. This is it. That's just gonna go down as one of my favorite shooting days of my whole life.
To end it on that was really, really special. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Eyes wide and hands unfolded.
I stand out in the open.
I can't believe that we get to do this together today.
Yeah.
I think it feels like a really good way to wrap it all up.
We started a week away movie on this dock in September of 2019, and we have wrapped a week away the series. What's today's date? May the 21st, 2025, on the same dock. Pretty great. Pretty great. It's a special place.
Thank you, God, for the hell of it, the hell of it. Thank you for everything that feels so hard to bear.
Do you know what God calls an angry prayer?
A prayer.
Guys, I'm stoked. Starting Wednesday, December the 10th, we're going to put every episode of the Docuseries on YouTube. What's the Docuseries? Great question. It takes a lot of people, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of overcoming what feel like insurmountable problems to be able to make a series like this in the amount of time that we had to make it. Fortunately, we were rolling cameras the whole time, so we put all that footage together and we are telling the story of how we made the series. It's its own standalone series. It's called A Week Away, the Docuseries, and we hope that you enjoy it. I know I would really like it as a filmmaker, and it's interesting to me. Maybe it's interesting to you. So if you love the series, I think you'll enjoy seeing how we brought it together. If you love just watching how creativity happens, I think you'll enjoy watching the docuseries as well. And starting on Wednesday, December the 10th, we're putting that on YouTube, 1 episode a week. Watch it there, like, comment, subscribe, because we're gonna have more episodes coming every week. Tell all your family, tell all your friends, tell the strangers on the street, watch it 17,000 times yourself. You understand, you get it, you know the assignment. All right, well, I'll see you guys over there. Peace.